like, that's what computers are for.
I've always had, over time, developed a script. And you start thinking, sometimes they even have choices, pick one from home, pick one from That's what we do, so yeah.
I'm eventually going to freewheel it, but until then, I'm keeping my computer.
I was, let's see, 13 years in college before I started doing
Okay.
And then I did for the last 6 years I was a person. The moment it was, and then I started doing this picture back then. I didn't have a big house, but when I was doing it before, I had they don't
Right. Yeah.
So now I'm writing about it.
Yeah. But it's like, I'd rather just, it's better to be safe than sorry, because then you can just put it down, find your spot, and then,
You don't need to speak on it.
Exactly. At least you have a reference guide.
Test it. What does a waterfall sound like? Shh. Hello, welcome everybody to University Unitarian Universalist Fellowship, or known fondly to us that are here as UF. And a happy first day of Pride Month. If you hadn't noticed, I did decorate for Pride, but also for connection. My name is Chloe McElroy. My pronouns are she, her, and hers. I'm about 5'5" with a red side braid hair, and I'm wearing a pair of green coveralls that say gay all day, every day, and that's okay on the back. And I also have a pair of green cat-eye glasses that I'm wearing, if you cannot see me. And I'm going to be your service leader for today. I want to welcome you all here to our shared sacred space. We welcome all that are here with us today in person, and of course everybody who's joining us online. Hello, our friends. Thank you for being here. Please take a moment now to silence all of your noise-making devices, such as phones or other such things you might have on you that would go off or make noise during our time here together. We are going to start today with committee moments. We welcome any committees with anything upcoming to come up and share at the mic. Also, if you need me to bring it to you, I can bring the mic to you. Just raise your hand for me.
I'm Janet with co-chair of programs. I see that one of my announcements is already up here. So on Father's Day on June 15th, we will be celebrating our fathers with a slideshow. So we did this last year. And so if you have a photo of a father in your life you would like to honor, please take a look at the notable news, and you'll have a link or some information about how to send it in. Also, we did this last year, and if you submitted a photo last year and you want it re-shown, just let us know. You don't have to resubmit it. But in case we don't know if you had a falling out with your father or whatnot, but just let us know if it's okay to redo it. My second announcement is New Inquiring Minds is meeting again on same day on June 15th after the service at noon. Our next topic is going to be music and meaning. So we're going to be looking at the role music plays in our lives, and also the lives of people in different cultures around the world.
Hi,
Good morning. Marilyn London for, what am I here for? Pastoral care, that's what I'm here for. We tried this once before. We'll see if we're going to try this again, because sometimes when people have things come up in the church that might require, or we want to send them a card or something, but you don't know the address, and there's a lot of other things. So we kept a basket over here before with all kinds of blank cards, and what you might do if you want to, any occasion like that, is pick up the card, fill it out, just put the person's name on it, and pastoral care will take care of addressing it and stamping it and sending it. So all you really have to do is just put your thoughts on the card, put it over there, and it'll happen. So, okay.
The magic of pastoral care.
Hi everyone, Tay with RE. If you weren't here last week, we are now having like fidget toys for any kiddos who want any. Adults are welcome too. I was like, adults are welcome too. They'll be over by the kitchen and you can just grab them and then return them at the end of service ideally, so we have them constantly. Yeah, so we continuously have fidget toys. Otherwise, I also have the list for the summer. We are starting our summer curriculum in RE, which is a lot of workshops and activities we do as a group. And we rely on the congregation to help teach like different crafts or different things like that. So I have your name, and then just check off what dates you are available. And that way I can reach out to everyone and see once the schedule is set. We're really looking for the end of June and then throughout the month of July for help. Besides that, we're pretty well covered. So that's what we're looking for. Thank you. Also going to be by the kitchen.
Good morning, Jill Metz, representing hospitality. And it's a new month, so we need volunteers for coffee setup. The men's group has generously volunteered to help out during the month of June, but we still need some people to kind of fill in the blanks. So see me after service if you're interested in helping. Thank you. Sign up. Yes, sign up.
Good morning, Margie with membership. So in 2 weeks, on June 15th, which is Father's Day, I'll be having a coffee, cake, and chat. And that's for any visitors who are thinking about, any visitors at all are welcome to come. I make a pastry. We go back into the conference room, get to know each other a little more, talk about what brought us to the fellowship, and learn a little bit more about Unitarian Universalism. So hope to see you there if you haven't been to one yet. And if you would like to come and you're vegan, let me know so I can do something vegan. I need greeters. There are 4 more Sundays in June. So if you can take a Sunday in June to greet, that would be lovely. You show up about 9:45, just welcome people with your friendly smile, and if they're brand new, have them sign in. And if you want any more details or hints on how to be a greeter and how much fun it is, see me after services. Thanks.
Sorry, I forgot one. If you read my RE newsletter, it said that our new staff member, Madison, who is going to be our new Littlest UU classroom teacher, was going to start today. Unfortunately, she is not feeling well, so if anyone was looking forward to meeting her today, next week is going to be the week to do so. But we do have a new staff member joining us, so.
Hi everybody, I'm Colleen Roberts. You might know me via email and see my name. I'm the real person. Oh. I visit once in a while too. I live a long way away. But my name's on this slide, along with Margie that you just saw and Tay that you just saw. If you would like to be part of Breeze and you are a member or an active friend, we would love to have you. What does it mean? It means it's a very easy way for us to communicate and have sign-up sheets for different events or let you know events that are happening. That's all, very simple. And we'll send you an email invitation, so see one of us to do that if you would like to. And also, people keep talking about the notable news all the time. If you don't get the notable news, then see somebody on the board or a council member, and they'll give you my email address. Simply sign up through me if you wish. That's the easiest way nowadays. Any questions? Awesome.
Hello, I am representing the men's group. It is happening on the 16th at 6:30. There it is, men's support group. They do a potluck, so if you identify as a man or men want to participate in the men's group, it's going to be the 16th at 6:30. David is my father, and he can answer any questions through me. If you have a question, I can get it to David and get you the answer back. All right. Now I'm back over here. Alrighty, so I'm gonna just go ahead and do a couple just in-home announcements here, just to let you know. We are still kind of in the prevalence of flu season. It's starting to get out of flu season, but what still exists among us is COVID. Even though it's not as prevalent as it once was, it still exists. And, just the common cold, our new RE staff has a stomach bug, so then they decided to stay home, which we appreciate. So just try to make sure that if you have any germs that are floating around you or your family, you keep them at home and join us online. We'd more than love to have you back when you're feeling better. We also have several exits in here that I want to point out. We've got the exit out to the parking lot. We've got the exit out going towards the RE building. There's the exit out into the Memorial Garden back that way. I do also have an exit behind me, but we should try to use this as the very last resort because there's lots of trip hazards behind me, so it's not really that great of an exit. But it still works in a very big necessity. But use all the other exits first if you need to exit the church. Right, so my opening words this morning are from Elizabeth Ketchum from the UUA website. May we live the spirit of pride. With gratitude for the freedom to be our true, authentic selves, may we live the spirit of pride. With the courage that comes from challenging fear, may we live the spirit of pride. With sorrow for those who could not be with us today, and in honor of those who died of AIDS or who lost their lives, may we live the spirit of pride. With grief for those whose pain was unbearable and left us too soon, may we live in the spirit of pride. Looking ahead to the justice still withheld, may we live the spirit of pride. With the confidence that a sense of community banishes isolation and loneliness, may we live the spirit of pride. With the rainbow flag flying high, a sense of beloved community among us, and the joy that comes with making new connections, may we live the spirit of pride. Our opening music today is hymn 222, Break Not the Circle, which will be led by Gary and E.T.
It's actually 3:23, but please stand if you're willing. Please stand if you're willing and able. Melissa will give us a short introduction. Break not the circle of enabling law, where people grow forgiven and forgiving. Break not that circle, make it wider still, till it includes, embraces all the living. Come wonder at this love that comes to life, where words of freedom are with humor spoken, and people keep no score of wrong and guilt, but will that human bonds remain.
chalice later today is Alice. She uses she, her pronouns and is 9 years old, and she is happy that it's summer. And please join with me in the light of truth, in the warmth of love, we gather to seek, to sustain, and to share. We like to affirm our time here together as a community. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its gift. This is our great covenant to dwell together in peace, to seek truth in love, and to help one another. We would like to welcome any visitors who are joining us this morning. We are a wide and loving congregation full of a variety of speakers that come and talk to us every week. Some examples are professors from UCF, Seminole State College, Rollins, all sorts of speakers from different religions, speakers from our congregation. We also have a consulting minister, Reverend Kathy, who speaks to us once a month, like she will be doing today, and all sorts of others. We do suggest that you come multiple times to get a feel of what we really are about and see if we're really for you. Please take a moment right now to greet anybody around you. Thank you. What does a waterfall sound like? I know it's fun to talk with one another, and that's why we have coffee and conversation afterwards. Please join us for that. The mic was already moved to the center. Thank you, Patrick. So now it's time for Joys and Concerns. You can come up to the front or raise your hand, and I can bring the mic to you. Just a reminder that we are broadcasting all over the internet right now, so if there's not anything you want to share with the World Wide Web, then maybe not share it right now. But feel free to come on up and have your Joys and Concerns.
I'm back from Tennessee.
My concern is that I'm out of school.
Want to go drop a stone? Some of us wish school would never be over.
That's a perfect segue. I finished my master's degree. Yeah, John and I just came back from Berkeley, California, so I got to do my whole graduation there and meet all my classmates for the first time ever. It was excellent. San Francisco is beautiful. I'd never been there before. So it's also cool seeing campus for the first time. Also, it's my birthday. So I turned 25 today. John made me breakfast in bed. It was awesome. And yeah, that's my joys.
Obviously, my joy is that she got her master's degree and it's her birthday. Just to put that first. I have a concern. There has been a Nazi group in our city putting up stickers and flyers around the city, and has been, not the most pleasant thing. So what I've done as a response, my joy, for the last few months, is I've been making custom stickers to cover up those Nazi stickers. And it's been Allison knows it's been an unhealthy fixation for me. It has been a very, very all-encompassing, like, what sticker do I make today? And I've had entire conversations with people through stickers now. But I have 6 to give to people who are interested in having a sticker. So if you are, let me know and I will give you a sticker. They are vaguely political, but it's ambiguous enough. So, yeah. Okay.
We are so lucky to have so many talented, wonderful people in this congregation sharing their talents. I am especially grateful now for Margie Bolak, is that how you pronounce your last name? Margie, who is recording the books that my mother wrote, the Judy Bolton Mysteries. And she has just finished the first one. Margie is a fabulous reader. She does the voices of the criminals, the bad people, the worried people, the excited people. What an actress. And so the first one, The Vanishing Shadow, is done. And if you would like to listen to it, contact me and I'll send you the link. And this is, my mom would be so pleased. So I'm very happy.
Hi, Rachel Wisner. I have several joys, and they're all related to birthdays. My oldest turned 30, followed by my youngest turning 17, and then my granddaughter turned 2 yesterday, and my son will be 28 on Friday, and then birthday season will be over.
My joy that is summer, but my concern is that I won't get to see one of my best teachers again because she's moving to a different elementary school, like 20 minutes away from my school.
Hi, Kathy McKeambridge here. This is a concern for former political prisoner Leonard Peltier. He went to have eye surgery, and they have found that his aneurysm has grown. So, good thoughts and prayers, please.
Hi, I'm Maddie Packham, and on Thursday I'll be turning 22. And my sisters as well.
And I just have a joy/concern. My dad had a heart ablation this past Wednesday, and it actually didn't end up going through because they couldn't ablate in the spot that they found. So they hopefully will have a way of treating it going forward. But just some good vibes to both my parents. They're going through it, and they need some good love and vibes. So let's go ahead and just take a moment of silence for all of those joys and concerns that remain unspoken. Thank you. Now it's time for all ages, right? So, which is presented by Tay? No? Oh, okay. It's presented by Reverend Kathy.
Tay and I work these things out. So our opening hymn this morning, Break Not the Circle, encouraged us to, quote, join the movement of the love that frees, till people of whatever race and nation will truly be themselves, stand on their feet, see eye to eye with laughter and elation. Isn't that lovely? You know they mean all people, right? All of them, even the ones we don't like today. Even the people we may have labeled enemies. My colleague, Reverend Christopher Bice, who serves the Tennessee Valley Unitarian Universalist Church in Knoxville, Tennessee, considers this difficult challenge in a story titled simply, Enemies. Once, there was a little girl who was queen of an island. Are any of the little girls here today queens of islands? Yeah, you are? I thought you might be. One day, an advisor said to her, Your Majesty, the people on this island are good, but we must be aware of the people on the next island, for they are our enemies. Our enemies? How terrible, said the queen. Yes, it is terrible, said the advisor, and our little island will never be safe while we have enemies. We must find a way to get rid of our enemies. "You are right," said the queen. "Do you have any ideas?" "I do indeed," said the advisor. "We can take our army, put it on a ship, sail to the other island, then our army can march off and destroy the enemy." The queen was not so sure that this was a good idea. "Thank you for sharing your ideas," said the queen, "but I need some time to think about it. Can you come back tomorrow?" "Yes, Your Majesty," said the advisor. He bowed and he left the room. The next day, when the advisor returned to talk to the queen, he was shocked. He was shocked to find her having tea with the queen of the next island. The advisor turned red with anger. "How can you sit there and drink tea with that person? She is our enemy. We must get rid of our enemies." The queen looked at her advisor with eyes that were calm and steady, and she said, "You have been a good advisor, and you are right. We must get rid of our enemies. You would have me destroy our enemies by conquering them with an army. But the best way to get rid of our enemies is to make them our friends." There are many ways to deal with those we call enemies, and my dream for our world is peace and justice for everyone. And so if I want to help create the world of my dreams, I am compelled to remember that unity means all of us. That's your challenge for the week. You thought that was for the kids, right? All right, thanks so much.
It is now time for our interlude and offering. We share 40% of our plate with the local community. Our social action committee helps pick out where we send the profits. We are going to partner with Hope Community Chest. They are amazing organization, and we like to help them out. And our interlude and offerings hymn is 391, Voice Still and Small, led by Janet and E.T.
This is a short hymn, so we will sing it through twice. Voice still and small, deep inside all, I hear you call, singing in dark and rain, sorrow and pain, still you remain singing, calming my fears, quenching my tears through all the years, singing. Voice still and small, deep inside all, I hear you call, singing in dark and rain, sorrow and pain, still you remain singing, calming my fears, quenching my tears through all the years, singing.
I love that one. All right, it is now time for the children's recessional. Children are always invited and encouraged to stay in the service, but if they so please, they can exit now, and we will sing them out. We love you and bless you and send you on your way. We love you and bless you today and every day. And today for our service, I would like to introduce our consulting minister, Reverend Kathy Schmitz, to speak about calming our fears.
Good morning. In preparation for this morning, I found myself going back through decades of sermons on the theme of community, a topic you might not be surprised to learn I have addressed more than once. But I was initially surprised to discover that they usually took a similar form. Here are some of the challenges of living in community, and here are some ways we can do better. You know, how to improve communication, that democracy means we don't always get our own way, increasing our comfort with the messiness, the chaos of communal life, the value of covenant, things like that. As I thought about it, that made sense. I mean, we often come together to be called to our best selves, individually and collectively. So, talking about ways of improving made sense. We often say that we're here trying to create inside these walls the world we would like to see outside these walls. And yet I realized that is not what I wanted to reflect on this morning. Today I want to talk about the blessings of community, the importance of being together, the gift of connection. So let's begin with some words from my colleague, Reverend Doug Taylor, who serves our Unitarian Universalist congregation in Bingham, New York. Will you join me? I invite you to join me in a spirit of meditation and reflection as we turn our hearts in gratitude for the many blessings of this community. Take a minute to bring yourself fully to this time and place. Notice your body, relax its tension, but treasure its strength. And your mind, offer it gentle thanks for the amazing feats that it has performed on your behalf this week. Now let it rest. And notice your heart. May it know both tenderness and the power of compassion. And your spirit, the breath of life, let its healing power flow through you with the gifts of love and light. The words of Douglas Taylor. Alone in the world, I was beset with frustration and anger at the world around me. So much injustice and hatred, so little peace and freedom. I longed to make a difference.
Then I came into community, a religious community of hope and love. Here I found support and energy, vision and powers, the authority of shared witness.
And together, we changed the world. Alone in the world, I was beset by sorrow and hurt in my life. So much loss and emptiness, so little hope and understanding.
Then I came into community, a religious community of hope and love. Here I found support and compassion, wisdom and grace, the power of shared suffering. And together we made life sweeter.
Alone in the world, I was beset by confusion and emptiness in my soul. So much busyness and pettiness, so little depth of connection.
And then I came into community, a religious community of hope and love. Here I found support and encouragement, depth and diversity, and the power of sharing the journey. And together we saved my life.
For all the varied reasons that we have brought us together, out of loneliness and into community, we give thanks.
For the blessings we each bestow on one another, with our energy, compassion, and prayer, we give thanks.
For the blessing we become to each other in need, we give thanks, and remember, we are not alone. I already knew that I was called to make space this morning for us to reflect on the value of community and connection, but the reason was made more clear when I happened to hear an interview this week with Tara Brach. Brach is a psychologist, author, and Buddhist teacher, and also a therapist with a PhD in clinical psychology. She has spent years studying Buddhism and mindfulness. Here is the line that caught my attention. We are herd animals, and connecting with each other calms fears. The conversation was about how to deal with fear and uncertainty, a topic very much in play in our world today. Together, Brach and the host considered many things that might be causing this fear. I will spare you the litany. The interviewer wondered whether people are feeling fear that comes from the associated uncertainty, loss of control, and powerlessness. So, as a side note about that uncertainty, loss of control, and powerlessness, I did find myself wondering if we really ever had as much certainty, control, and power as we thought we did, and whether that was in part an illusion that has now been shattered. However, I digress. That is a sermon for another day. From Brach's perspective, however, there is a different triggering mechanism. What moves us from the events of life in the world to fear is disconnection. For Brach, fear is the suffering that arises from a loss of connection. When there are stressors, we can end up with unhelpful cycles running through our mind. Anybody had any unhelpful thought cycling through their mind this week? Yeah. This is worse in isolation, and isolation is on the rise, and it's particularly prevalent among our younger generations. Connection calms our minds and our fears. Brach also talks about the negativity bias and how that factors into us. The negativity bias is our tendency to see the bad in a situation, and it actually has evolutionary origins. If you are wandering through a Florida wetland and see movement in a bush, you might presume that it is a panther or an alligator because that would keep you safe. And because there's no real harm done in being wrong in that case. However, if you're wrong and you assume that it's just a little bird and it turns out to be a panther or an alligator, you have a world of trouble, right? This instinct that evolved in us, it kept our ancestors safe. But now, walking across campus or through downtown, perhaps that same instinct is not as helpful. At times, we experience alarm and act accordingly, and that may actually cause some harm, or at least some confusion. The instinct served us well evolutionarily, but now perhaps it does not. And perhaps our connections and community can help us perceive that. Our interlude spoke to the part of us that needs calming, that can help us overcome the instinct and urge to panic. Voice still and small, deep inside all, I hear you call, singing. In storm and rain, sorrow and pain, still we remain singing. Calming my fears, quenching my tears, through all the years, singing. That voice inside us is nurtured in connection. Our religious communities can provide a deep sense of belonging. In generations past, though, some of us were made to feel like outcasts in our religious communities. I think of some of the changes that have happened across many, though certainly not all, faith communities in my lifetime. As we begin Pride Month, think of the difference that it has made to so many, not just to those who identify as part of the LGBT+ community, although them for sure, but also to those of us who love them. There was a time when many people had to hide their true selves, sometimes to the point of cutoff with family and friends. How heartbreaking for everyone involved. Isolation increased, and we lost the blessing of each other's love, perspective, and gifts.
when we can connect as our true selves, all of us, we are stronger, clearer, braver, and healthier. I'd like to share a reading from my colleague the story this morning came from, Christopher Bice. It's called Disorganized Religion. I don't believe in organized religion, I once said. That was before I found the Unitarian Universalist Church. Of course, those who have seen my minister's study claim I still do not believe in organized religion. When I was a director of religious education, I was once asked to state my philosophy of administration. I responded, I organize a Sunday school in much the same way one might go about inciting a riot. I get everyone excited and hope it happens. This philosophy served me well during my tenure as RE director. Something of that spirit carries over to my work in the parish ministry. I don't mean to dismiss the importance of detailed management. I am conscientiously striving to grow in this area. Day by day, I learn more about the importance of a carefully implemented strategy for church administration. But I also appreciate the value and spontaneity of creative chaos. Many people like their churches to be well organized. Centuries of theology have given us the picture of a God who makes order out of chaos. And yet, this theology does not serve us well when the choir hits a wrong note, a baby gurgles loudly, the pianist plays an octave too high, or a child crawls under the pews, or someone forgets to turn on the microphone, or the minister forgets to introduce the second hymn. When we think of God as a power that brings order out of chaos, we can become upset with the occasional and unavoidable disorderliness of everyday life. We forget that the creative power often involves a measure of messiness. That's why I like to think of God as love. Love is like a prophet that turns over the tables in my temple, disturbing all my notions of order and upsetting all the rituals and theologies that interfere with my ability to love my neighbor as myself. This is not to say that I do not do my best to run a tight ship on Sunday morning. It's only to say that sometimes I gain my clearest understanding of the divine when chaos is made out of my order. This community does not have to be perfect to provide the life-saving connections that calm our fears. When you show up on a Sunday morning, or any time really, you have a general idea of what might happen, but not everything. Most people don't worry too much about that, even those of us charged with arriving with a plan. You have no idea. No, it is unlikely that everything will work out just as we thought. This puts me in mind of the field of process theology. In process theology, we are co-creators of the universe. I love that expression. We are co-creators of the universe. In theistic strands of process theology, God is not a noun, but a verb. Not a noun, but a verb. God is what's happening. In process theology, it is not order that is valued, but rather whether what has happened has created more opportunities for creativity. I think improv would be a good spiritual practice in this understanding. Things will happen. When they do, we say yes. Not, yes, we are glad this happened, but yes, we know it did. And now it is our move, our chance to create more love, more joy, more hope, more connection. Being here for each other matters. Being here for each other matters. Controlling everything does not. Letting go of our expectations of perfection, we will be okay with all that certainty, control, and power that we may have thought we had. What we need from each other is not certainty, control, and power, but rather to be seen and acknowledged. In Stories of the Spirit by Jack Kornfield and Christina Feldman, there's one of my favorite stories. A family went out to dinner at a restaurant. When the waitress arrived, the parents gave their orders. Immediately, their 5-year-old daughter piped up with her own. "I'll have a hot dog, fries, and a Coke." "And no, you won't," interjected Dad. Turning to the waitress, he said, "She'll have meatloaf, mashed potatoes, and milk." Looking at the child with a smile, the waitress said, "So, hun, what do you want on that hot dog?" When she left, the family sat, stunned and silent. A few moments later, the little girl, eyes shining, said, "She thinks I'm real." Can we help each other know that we are real? Can we help each other know that we are real? I think we can. I think we can and do, as we see each other, hear each other, support each other. The world calls to us in many ways, and each of us will find our place to take our part in different ways and different times and places. But there is something about being in the work together, being part of a team, connected and united, and it matters. There's a reading in our hymnal that doesn't include the first part of the original piece. It's by Marge Piercy. It's called "To Be of Use." I'm going to read it to you, but with the original beginning to it. The people I love best jump into the work head first, without dallying in the shallows, and swim off with sure strokes out of sight. They seem to become natives of that element, the black, sleek heads of seals bouncing like half-submerged balls. I love people who harness themselves, an ox to a heavy cart, who pull like water buffalo with massive patience, who strain in the mud and the muck to move things forward, to do what has to be done again and again. And then the part in our hymnal. I want to be with people who submerge in the task, who go into the fields to harvest and work in row and passing the bags along, who stand in line and haul in their places, who are not parlor generals or field deserters, but who move in common rhythm when the food must come in or the fire be put out. The work of the world is common as mud. Botched, it smears the hands, crumbles to dust. But the thing worth doing well has a shape that satisfies, clean and evident. Greek amphoras for wine or oil, hopi vases that hold corn are put in museums, but you know they were made to be used. The pitcher cries for water to carry and a person for work that is real. We want to be real. Working together toward a common goal is an amazing award. That's one of the things that this community invites you to be part of. But what about those times when you have nothing to give? Come anyway. Come anyway. You don't have to be useful. Sometimes you can just show up. In fact, when you don't feel useful, please show up. You are often unaware of the gift that your mere presence can be. A story. Grace was feeling down. She was having trouble getting off the couch. But she showed up for the potluck because she knew it was good for her. Sigh. And actually, she did have a good time. She didn't really even have to do anything. She picked up chips and salsa on the way. But what Grace didn't know, until someone told her a couple weeks later, is that just her showing up turned out to be a gift. In the course of the evening, she told a story, just like you do over dinner, a story that inspired Joy and allowed Joy to address head-on a long-standing work difficulty. And it transformed her relationship with her workplace. Just being present, being herself, Grace was enough. And so it is for you too. You just need to show up for each other. whether we're celebrating in worship or untangling philosophical knots in new inquiring minds, whether we're setting out potluck or gardening together, whether we're singing or reading or planning or playing, showing up is what connects us, and connection calms our fears. In this time and this place where we find ourselves, this matters. Showing up matters now as much as it ever has. So your call to action this week is to do 3 things. I want you to do 3 things to connect. Create a new connection or strengthen an existing connection. Make a coffee date, call an old friend, put your name on a sign-up sheet. I hear they'll be over by the kitchen. Join a group you've been thinking of checking out. 3 things. But here is the really good news. You only have to think of 2 because I can tell you the first one. The first one is to sign up for Breeze. I want to put in a plug for this new tool this fellowship is using to help people connect. Breeze is a new member management system that Colleen was speaking about. It has many wonderful features that will make, ready, the lives of your leaders and organizers easier. You do want to make the lives of your leaders and organizers easier. Is there anyone who doesn't? Okay, just checking. But it will also help you when you need to reach out, and it will make sure that you don't miss opportunities. Because showing up for each other matters. Here is the thing about Breeze. A database only works if it has good data. So we need you to respond to the invitations you get to join the Breeze system. After service today, Colleen and several others will be on hand. So, right, Colleen, yep, back there in the corner, right, will be on hand to help those who would like a little assistance getting connected to Breeze. And here's the other thing. If you do this, you will get reminders about really fun and fulfilling activities to be involved in instead of reminders to sign up for Breeze. In big ways and small, we need each other. Day in and day out, we need each other. This fellowship matters, and your showing up matters more than you ever imagined. Will you join me again?
We're just making sure you're paying attention.
Yeah.
Do not be alone right now.
Gather together.
Gathering together grows courage
in ourselves and in others who see the numbers swelling.
It is a small thing,
but right now it is an important thing.
Great sources of wisdom remind us, just because you cannot stem the tide of all hate,
it is still right to do the thing you can do.
These things add up. Your thing, my thing, his thing, their one thing, her one thing.
Together it becomes a big thing.
Do not be alone right now.
Any liberation, all liberation, is collective liberation.
My freedom is bound with yours and yours with mine.
Inextricably.
Let us together cast our lots doing this big thing.
Bending the moral arc of the universe toward justice. The words of Karen Johnson. And you're up.
All right. Thank you so much, Reverend Kathy, for that wonderful talk. We're now going to extinguish our chalice. We extinguish this flame. Our closing music today is in the blue hymnals for a change. It's hymn 1057, Go Lift It Up. It will be led by Janet and E.T.
Please stand as you're willing and able.
your journey into peace and the brightness of day. Go lift up, Lord, bless your way. Moonlight, starlight, guard your journey into peace and the brightness of day.
For my closing words today, they are about connection and pride. For there is no pride without connection and support. According to the Trevor Project, the 5 most effective ways friends and caregivers can demonstrate support to the LGBTQIA+ community are: welcome LGBTQIA+ friends and partners. Talk respectfully about LGBTQIA+ identities. Use preferred names and pronouns. Support gender expression. Educate yourself about LGBTQIA+ issues. And we are having a postlude played by E.T. Go in peace and connection.